All right. A few days ago, I read a letter from Anthony Troy Williams titled Blatant Lies of Darcy Ing Dodson, who I believe is the parole officer who claims to have written the pre-sentence investigative report. Keep in mind that Anthony Troy Williams is going to be sentenced in 9 days, and the devil, satanic judge, and the prosecutor want to throw the book at him. They hate Anthony Troy Williams with a passion. It's not about fairness. It's not about justice. It's all about giving Anthony as much time as possible to keep him silent and to try to break his spirit. So I read that document a few days ago. I suggest you go back and listen to that. This is a new document called Motion for Variance. It was written 4 days ago, and I think it's sent to his public defender. I hope he's a good guy. I don't know who he has. Anyway, it's also enumerated, and Anthony is very intelligent when it comes to putting together websites that tell people how to live in freedom and how to, defend homes against mortgage fraud and exposing banking fraud and things like that. His sites were so popular, they had to take them all down. If you want to see them, you have to go back to the Wayback Machine, which I did, and I tried to capture as much as I could. But I can tell you they were very professional and very good. Let's get to the writing. Let's get to the reading of this. Motion for Variance by Anthony Troy Williams, written on October the 13th, the year 2020. These are the points that I want in the motion and that I think would be relevant in the motion for variance. Number one, government witness Mary Jean Castillo, who was a former employee, testified that she witnessed no fraud and that everything that I did proved to her by documentation and the videos of me at the governmental agencies such as the FBI that validated what I was doing was lawful. She also testified about how hard I worked for clients and would work past midnight working on motions for clients to keep them in their homes. Number two, government witness Melvin Ventura testified that I was a good man and that I was honest about the MEI program and that he still trusted me. Also, he provided 3 different affidavits which states that I did not commit any type of fraud against him through the mail or wire. He also sent me several emails stating that I have a good heart and that I saved him from foreclosure. 16 of the mail and wire fraud counts are 4 emails and 12 payments from him for my services, which he stated he was satisfied with. This reminds me a lot of how they tried to go after Ken Hovind, actually. Number 3, I notified the FBI and the DCCA about the fraudulent activities of my former employees by sending a letter, a fax, and showing up in person to make a complaint to make sure these people did not scam anyone else. Number 4, I had more clients as witnesses who testified that what the government witnesses testified was a lie, and that I never represented myself as a licensed attorney, but that I always informed them who exactly I was and what I could do, and that I was not a member of the bar, and neither did I ever want to be. Number 5, the MEI application that the pre-sentence report conveniently omitted was signed by all clients, informing them that if they were facing foreclosure or in foreclosure, the guarantee did not apply to them, and they could not participate in the mortgage reduction program. Number 6, the real scammers, Edna Franco, Henry Malinay, Annabelle Khabib, Rowena Valdez, Angelita Pacion, and Hip Gwynn, has not done any time for their crimes, and Franco, Valdez, and Pacion was not even charged for their crimes. Number 7, everything that I did, I got governmental approval for and have video and documented evidence to prove that everything I did was according to the law. Number 8, I was under investigation by the FBI in Florida, who did the same investigation, and the U.S. Attorney's Office declined prosecution because they didn't find no evidence of a federal crime. Number 9, a recent case involving fraud with a defendant named Toby Viola had more alleged victims and over $46 million of alleged money that was scammed, and he went to trial and lost and got a 10-year sentence. Number 10, the defendant is charged with a Class C felony, and according to the United States Code, a Class C felony has a maximum sentence of 12 years. Number 11, the government listed 112 clients as victims, yet could get only 5 to testify at trial, and didn't produce not one affidavit from any client that stated I scammed or defrauded them. I have to interject my own personal commentary here. I want you to imagine that the FBI has targeted you and that you have a business with 500 customers. You don't think that if the FBI was to cold call every one of your clients and say, we're investigating Joe Blow, and are you sure Joe Blow hasn't mistreated you or victimized you or done any unethical things or illegal things with you in any way? You don't think 500 people, there's going to be some people jump on that? Of course there will. And they only found 5 out of 500? Give me a break. And there are people waiting to side with the government, to go against anyone anytime they get a chance. A perfect example of that is that cop in Oklahoma that, help me out, they claimed he raped like 40 people, and they went and investigated. Daniel Hortzclaw. They went and cold called like all the people that he had ever been in contact with and gave them leading questions. And like supposedly he raped like 35 women, which is absurd. I don't even know the number, but it was really, really high. But I'm just saying, you don't cold call everybody's friends, and just because you find a few that are willing to be a rat and make up stuff and go along with the government, that doesn't mean you're guilty. It's a really evil tactic of the government. But anyway, if somebody has a problem, they go to the government and they report it. You don't cold call all your friends and family and business acquaintances. That's insane. Anyway, okay. Number 12, 2 of the government's witnesses, Nelson and Mary Thez Madamba, previously provided affidavits in 2015 stating it was Edna Franco, Henry Malinay, and Rowena Valdez that scammed them and not me. Number 13, another government witness, Macrina Pilos, testified that it was Khabib that lied to her, met with her, and took money from her. And when questioned why she didn't call the number on the app to verify, she said she didn't see the number, even though it was above her signature. Number 14, the government's FBI agent, Joseph Lavelle, testified that there were no victims in any states that made a complaint against me. Number 15, FBI agent Megan Crowley testified that no Hawaii clients called her, emailed her, faxed her, or came to her office and made a complaint against me. She also testified that when she interviewed the clients at their homes, none of them told her that I scammed them or defrauded them. This can be verified by the 302s that she filed, which I was denied to submit as evidence at trial. Wow. Number 16. I have affidavits from co-defendant Annabelle Khabib and Angelita Pasion from 2015 stating that Edna Franco was the one who scammed them and not me. These affidavits were not allowed to be submitted as evidence at trial. That's terrible. Number 17. I have multiple videos of me going to government agencies to get my documents scrutinized before filing, and they were scrutinized by district attorneys, and they determined that there was nothing fraudulent about my documents or my company. 18. My PAG-ID was approved by the FBI and TSA, and I have multiple videos to prove this fact. Number 19. I was never charged with a fake ID, fake badge, or handcuffs, and yet the government focused on this at trial as if they were fake when they knew they were not. 20. In 18 years of doing this business, I still have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. 21. All the witnesses I called at trial testified that I never lied to them, that I did I did the work I promised them, and that I did a lot of work without being paid or compensated. 22. Rosie Thomas, who is listed as a victim, testified that Annabelle Khabib, Henry Malinay, and Edna Franco deceived me, and that they not only scammed homeowners, but they scammed me also. She also testified that I have continued to fight her foreclosure even from jail and have kept her and her mother in their home for 7 years now. 23. The fraudulent copycat mortgage enterprise company set up by Franco, Khabib, and Malinay and Valdez was never investigated and charged, and none of the homeowners they scammed were contacted by the FBI, nor are any of them listed as victims on any of the pre-sentence reports, even though over 40 people have made official complaints to the Office of Consumer Protection. None of them were contacted as victims, and the amount of money that they were scammed out of was not included in the pre-sentence report. I was not allowed to submit these complaints into evidence for the jury to see who actually scammed people and who the complaints were against. Number 24. I did all of the work that I was hired to do and did not take anyone's money with no services rendered. In fact, most clients only made 1 or 2 payments, yet I continued to do the work to keep them in their homes, which included appearing in court, showing up in person to stop the sheriffs from evicting clients out of their homes. This is also on video on YouTube. That's absolutely true. I've seen videos where Anthony Troy Williams is at someone's home and he's standing up against the eviction authorities and keeping the eviction authorities from kicking somebody out. Number 25, I maintain my innocence and will be filing my appeal to obtain justice. Number 26, I had approximately 40 witnesses ready to testify at trial, how I saved them from foreclosure and that my services work, but was denied the opportunity when they were struck from testifying in the middle of trial. 27, Dr. Leonard Horowitz and Sherry Kane, who is a former Fox News journalist, testified that I knew what I was talking about and that I did not scam people, but help people and was helping them fight their foreclosure, and that everything that I showed them, they verified it in the law. So much so that Dr. Horowitz felt compelled to put up a website also to educate people about their rights. 28. None of the co-defendants have done any jail time, and I should not get any jail time for doing what's right. I have spent almost 4 years in jail for a crime that I did not commit, and the culprits who committed the crimes have not spent a day in jail and will not spend a day in jail for what they did to homeowners and me. These are the points that I can think of. Thanks in advance for your assistance. So I believe Anthony Troy Williams was identified by the government as, quote, sovereign citizen, end quote. That's the government's words. And when they do that, they will pull out all the stops. They will do what they have to do to put you in jail. There's a lady who wrote a book called, what's it called? License to Lie. Yes, License to Lie. Her name is Sidney Powell. She worked for the DOJ as a prosecutor, and she became a whistleblower. And she clearly states that once the government wants to put you in jail, they will stop at nothing. They'll make up evidence. They'll bribe or threaten people to testify against you. They'll use jailhouse informants. They'll rig the trial. They'll withhold exculpatory evidence. They'll make up evidence. They'll do whatever they have to do to put you in jail. The rigged system is on their side. And Sidney Powell clearly writes about that and just says it very plain spokenly. But yet there's still some people in this country that are living a fairy tale that think we have the best criminal justice system in the world and they'll get a fair trial. That absolutely is not the case. Our criminal justice system is broken, and it needs to be majorly overhauled by God Almighty. But anyway, did you want to say anything, Aaron? Hold on. Let me get the phone to Erin. She's listening and wanted to say something.
I was just going to say the Grennans down in Panama say that their prisons down there are better than ours up here.
Yeah. Yeah, the Grennans had better prison conditions in I think it was Colombia, right? Not Panama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, please keep Anthony Troy Williams in your prayers. He's got a sentencing hearing in 9 days. If you guys remember, Sean Christie recently had a sentencing hearing. I think he got 20 years. There's no victim in Sean Christie's crime either. So when they find a good Christian man who tries to do what he, follow his conscience, they throw the book at him. And I think that's what Anthony is facing now. But Anthony is a man who does not compromise, and I believe the Lord will reward that. Thank you for your time.